Look at your brain. It's an ancient piece of hardware running outdated software. Elite manipulators use 6 evolutional backdoors to hack your will every single day. Weapon number 1, reciprocity. Your striatum hates being in debt. It registers social obligation as actual physical pain in your nerve cells. A slimy coworker drops a cheap coffee on your desk, acting friendly. 2 hours later, he asks you to cover his terrible weekend shift. The coffee costs $3. The shift ruins your sanity. Your brain completely ignores the math. It just wants to kill the painful social debt. A smooth operator buys a girl a cheap drink at the bar counter. He's triggering the exact same compliance loop to bypass boundaries. To stop this robbery, rename the asset in your head immediately. Once you realize a gift is just a hook, the obligation completely evaporates. Weapon number 2, commitment. The human brain is incredibly lazy. Once you make a small, public statement, your prefrontal cortex freezes it completely. A salesman asks, "Do you care about your family's digital safety?" You nod. He immediately pulls out an overpriced, garbage tech security subscription. You buy it because your ego cannot bear the psychological dissonance of contradicting your own words. Your bank account loses, so your identity survives. Smash this trap by killing the fear of changing your mind. Throw your past statements into the trash when the situation changes. Weapon number 3, social proof. Your amygdala looks for crowds to avoid thinking. If everyone is running, your brain assumes it's safe. Crypto scammers build fake group chats with hundreds of bots screaming about profits. Your mirror neurons fire up, creating instant FOMO. You invest your savings into a useless token just because the invisible crowd clapped? Fake majority pressure needs fog to control your wallet. Look for individual receipts instead of trusting the hype. Turn on the headlights, look at the actual names, and watch the crowd evaporate. Weapon number 4, liking. Your brain associates physical attractiveness and superficial praise with safety, bypassing your analytical guard lines completely. A beautiful agent smiles, drops a generic compliment about your taste, and hands over a terrible one-sided business contract. You sign it because your dopamine receptors are worshiping your smile. Remember, care without respect is just control with better lighting. Separate the person from the transaction. Ask yourself, would I buy this spreadsheet from a sweaty, aggressive man in a subway? Weapon number 5, authority. Your brain is wired to obey symbols. Clothes, titles, and expensive lab coats instantly shut down critical thinking. A guy in a sharp, tailored suit walks into a meeting room, speaks with absolute confidence, and gives completely disastrous financial advice. Everyone nods because the suit acts like a visual permission slip for stupidity. Moving goalposts hate data. Always check the actual math. Strip the title away. Look at the raw data. Look at the timestamps. And ignore the expensive fabric. Focus on the substance. Weapon number 6, scarcity. Your deep brain chemistry panics when resources shrink. The fear of losing options activates your survival mechanisms. Weapon number 7, opposite orientation in agreement. Here's the truth. Your counterintuitive way out of any situation isn't usually the way it seems. E-commerce sites show a fake countdown timer. Only 2 items left in stock. Suddenly, an ordinary jacket looks like a holy relic. You rush to buy it, chasing the dopamine spike. Intermittent reinforcement works perfectly when you worship random, fading warmth from scarcity. Pause for 10 seconds. Ask yourself, do I actually want this item, or am I just panicking because the door's closing? Let's look at a dangerous psychological combination, the door-in-the-face technique. It combines reciprocity and visual contrast to crush defenses. A manipulator asks for a massive, impossible startup right now. You say no, obviously. Then they immediately step back and ask for a smaller favor. Can you buy $100 ticket? Your brain views their retreat as a personal concession. You feel responsible for the agreement and say yes to the trap. This is how people exploit your natural cooperative design. They make the real goal look like a merciful compromise in daylight. Another classic exploit is the foot in the door technique. It alters your identity by starting with an incredibly tiny, harmless request. They ask you to sign a simple petition for clean streets. It feels completely harmless, so you write your name down. 2 weeks later, they ask to place a giant, ugly billboard on your lawn. Your brain accepts it to stay consistent. This is identity drift. Once they edit your self-perception, you become a model citizen for their specific selfish goals. Look out for the lowball technique, too. They secure your commitment with a great low price, then change the rules later. You agree to buy a car for $15,000. While you are processing the paperwork, they add 5 hidden fees. You still sign because the mental decision was already made. Moving goalposts hate active memory. Pull your commitment back instantly. Manipulators love using Darvo when you call them out. Deny the act, attack your character, and reverse roles completely. I never stole that idea. You were just insecure and trying to ruin my reputation. The victim costume switch fails. Don't defend your character when they use this trick. Point directly at the pattern, name the mechanism, and stay calm. Be aware of moral licensing. People use their good past actions as a valid subscription to treat you poorly today. I helped you move last month, so I can disrespect your boundaries now. Useful history isn't a cruelty subscription. They also use the fear-guilt-anger triangle. Fear gets your attention, guilt demands your obedience, and anger drives your movement. Recognize the emotional machinery. When someone creates drama, they just want your reaction to charge their emotional phone battery. Stig puts deep, dark behavioral wiring breakdowns inside the Stigway lab on Telegram. Go there for the exact technical blueprint. Boom. The lab shows you the sentence that shuts the door on manipulation, step by step. Expand your ego properly. Subscribe to this channel right now. Don't let your brain run on default software. Become completely impossible to ignore. Hit the like button to lock this pattern into your long-term memory. Let your calm make their manipulation look visible. Respect starts when you stop answering individual attacks and start identifying the entire social system. Walk softly, signal clearly.